They were definitely into seeing, can we defeat our enemies with psychic powers?
Yes.
And the answer was, broadly speaking, no. But they still tried.
They did try.
So it's not ridiculous that the American government, and it's not absurd that the American authorities would experiment on civilians.
Not at all.
They've also definitely done that.
Yeah, they absolutely have. And
So it could have happened.
Exactly. That's the thing.
And that's me, a comedian and podcaster, saying that. So I think that's case closed.
Who would
really.
never say anything just for context.
I would absolutely. Everything I say, I mean 100%.
Absolutely. Hello! Welcome to Believe. I'm Phil Green.
And I'm David Ferguson.
And we're back for season 5. This is a podcast all about the world's craziest myths and conspiracy theories. In each episode, we bring on a guest. That guest has picked a myth or conspiracy they want to talk about. Then we try to prove it, debunk it, or neither, because we don't know anything, do we?
Yeah, because we're just comedians.
We're just comedians.
Just comedians.
You like to believe?
I do like to believe.
And I like to cynic.
You do.
Mm-hmm. And this season, we're taking on some big shit, aren't we?
Oh, we are taking on some of the biggies, yes, indeed. We've got shootings that have been faked.
Yeah.
We've got what's happening to gravity this summer.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a biggie. What's turning the frogs gay?
Yeah, which is very important.
It's not Kylie Minogue, I can tell you that. Secret alien experiments.
Yeah.
And who really killed one of the Beatles?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff going on. There's also more people being cloned. There's more weird spacey stuff. We've got it's packed full of nonsense, isn't it?
Yes, and we are dressed for the occasion.
Oh yeah, we've got a new set. We've got a neon light, which means we're a proper podcast now. We've got a whole new backdrop, and we're wearing suits, which is one of the stupidest things we've ever decided to do. Isn't it?
Yeah, because it's a heat wave.
It's a heat wave.
Recording this season.
Yeah. And we are sweating like little bitches. George is back.
He is. Look at him.
Yeah, you took him out for hibernation.
We did. And he's made his first cup of tea of the season.
He was reluctant to come out of his cave. It took him a while for his eyes to adjust, but he's back now, isn't he?
He was blinking eyes,
blinking a lot.
tears.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but we slapped him around.
Yes.
And now he's back in his booth and ready to press some buttons. Now, if you do enjoy this podcast, please give us a little 5-star review. Whether you listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, it helps us boost the podcast. And we need that because we've got a lot of important messages to get out there, haven't we?
Yes, we do. But this is very, very important stuff. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, do that. Also, if you really want to support us, you could join our Patreon, which is just £3 a month. You get early access, you get ad-free listening, and you get access to our back catalogue of absolutely mad Patreon episodes, don't you?
Yes, you do. It's very, very interesting. And you would buy us a cup of coffee or a drink if you saw us in the real world, wouldn't you?
And give us a little pat on the head. Actually, no, don't do that because you'll run out of hair. Now, I am going to be doing a new stand-up show. In fact, I am doing a new stand-up show. It is a work-in-progress show called The Boy Who Nearly Grew Up. I'm going to be going to the Edinburgh Fringe between the 20th and 30th of August. There is a link on philgreencomedy.com or also in the show notes of any of our episodes. I will also be doing some warm-up shows in Medway, Watford, Shaftesbury, Southwark and Camden over the next couple of months. So please come along if you can. Now, who is today's amazing guest for the first episode of season 5?
Well, this amazing guest definitely takes 2 bottles into the shower. He has beautiful hair. It is the fantastic Alasdair Beckett-King.
The fantastic Alasdair Beckett-King. Alasdair is a multi-award-winning comedian, writer, and all-round legend, isn't he?
A legend.
Absolute legend. He has performed on 8 out of 10 Cats, Mock the Week, Comedy Central Live, Radio 4's The News Quiz, and at Glastonbury Festival. He has had several viral videos and a sellout run at the Edinburgh Fringe. He embarked on his first tour in 2023, and in the same year, he also published ABK's Montgomery Bourbon series of children's mystery novels. He's also the co-host of Lawman, a podcast about historical oddities and local legends. And with Eleanor Morton, he recently launched Eleanor and Alasdair Read That, a podcast revisiting classic kids' books.
He's a man of many talents.
He really genuinely is. And what is the myth or conspiracy that Alasdair has chosen for episode 1 of our new season?
Polybius.
Polybius. The legend of Polybius.
Ooh.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Let's find out.
Get out of the rabbit hole.
It's a fake. Every single bird in the sky is a robot.
It's fiction.
Doubt your government.
Trying to brainwash you.
It's an urban legend.
Like if there's actually spraying something in the sky.
No way.
A stream of absurdity.
It's a total fabrication.
Welcome to the podcast, Alasdair Beckett-King!
I feel so underdressed.
Do you?
Yeah, you're both rocking a DB Cooper.
Yep.
Is that the inspiration?
That's
Or is it Agent Cooper?
That's
deep.
That's
That's
deep.
nice.
Yeah, we love it.
Is it the
DB
Men in
Cooper.
Black? I don't know.
It's a bit of both. FBI, Men in Black, DB Cooper is not one that I thought of, but it is actually in one of the episodes we're doing in this series.
Is it?
Yes.
How exciting.
Who he is, whether he existed. Yeah.
Whereas I'm just more of like your older brother's friend who,
Yes.
who has like drugs and pogs.
Yeah.
That's what I've come as. A shirt over a t-shirt.
And hey, that is absolutely fine. That's good.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
It's probably blending into what we expect a lot of our audience to be, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, just sort of burnt out, bearded loser.
I don't know. I think
yeah.
you look like Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah, white Jesus.
is that religious upbringing? Is that, am I
Yeah. Oh,
sensitive?
we'd spring day and we're evangelical backgrounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's I've clearly asked too much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I want you to lay hands on me and tell me I'm forgiven.
Well, maybe afterwards.
were you religious as a kid? Was that a thing?
No,
Okay.
no.
But why do you look like this?
No, it just. I mean, if that's not proof, what is? No, I think my dad's Catholic, but like he's a lapsed Catholic. But you can't really leave. It's like the way malaria stays in the body. Catholicism's like that.
Yeah.
and
You're Catholic in your bones.
Often described that way, yeah.
yeah, it's the malaria of religions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, as he's getting older, he's like, I might start going to mass tonight. Come on, that's not going to fool God. You can't just start going, I'm getting a little bit old. Time to start going back to mass. That's pathetic. Stick by your guns, I say, and continue in sin. Mm-hmm. But no, I wasn't. It wasn't imposed upon me in any way. My mum was a Scottish atheist.
Okay. So you had quite the balance then.
Yeah. So I wasn't like in the same way that my mum was vegetarian. I'm a vegan, but I wasn't raised vegetarian ideologically. Okay. I wasn't raised as an atheist.
Was there meat? I mean, did you? So with your mum being vegetarian, was there meat in the home?
Yeah, my dad ate meat, but
Okay.
I didn't eat a lot of meat growing up, but I wasn't aware of it. So it was never forced on me. So I sort of came to it naturally because I kind of think all the people who raise their kids vegan, the kids then flip out and just go to KFC as soon as they get the chance.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe the same with an evangelical upbringing. The more enforced it is, the more... Whereas if you're given a chance to choose it yourself, you might choose what your parents want. Yeah.
True. It wasn't forced upon you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm homosexual. I was going to burn in hell, so it was my only chance of eternal life.
And as we established before the podcast, that was forced on you by Ulysses 31.
And that was Ulysses 31 made me gay.
We should point out before we started recording, there was a proper geek out between David and Alasdair on Ulysses.
We were talking about Ulysses 31. Also, when you say we established that David was gay before the podcast, has it not?
Yes,
has it not been mentioned in previous episodes? Are the listeners going to be like, what?
Yeah. He did bring it up in about
How
episode
deep does
31.
this thing go?
Well, you see, the thing is, we're two white guys doing a podcast. There has to be something.
Some kind of balance.
And the thing is, people think he's the gay one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's because he's so, well coiffed, and I'm a mess.
Well, but we have smartened up for this series.
Yes.
The reason for
This
series,
episode, I hope, knowing that I was going to be here.
Yeah, well,
the ties came out.
We have
In
the
the
Son of
longest
God
time.
here, of course.
we thought that a lot of people who started following this initially, who are proper conspiracy theorists, stopped following us because they didn't feel that we were taking it as seriously as we should do. So this season we thought, we'll wear suits. Then they realised we are taking it very seriously.
You mean business suits.
Exactly.
Yes.
Business suits mean business.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do take it seriously.
You do.
Like I believe in Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. Like genuinely, I'm on board with there actually being a large hominid in the Americas. And
I suppose of all of the conspiracy theories, Bigfoot is perhaps the one that would fit into sort of gay subculture
yes.
most easily.
Yes.
Like you can see, just put the right shirt on him and he'd be welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, Bigfoot's at Pride. Yes, I think so.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He'd be a bear, surely.
Surely. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I were to take my top off, you would
Yeah.
Like I am so physically hairy. That
If you just took it out and then just walked into the woods.
Yeah, and I am also quite fat, so like I'd also have the swing.
We have lived together in Edinburgh during the Fringe, and I have taken grainy black and white photos of him.
Bigfoot about
And just seeded those
Yeah,
on the dark web.
Yes, it's the only thing I'm making money from Edinburgh doing. So it works for me. So, you're a fan of cryptids?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Either they exist and they're animals,
Yeah.
or they don't exist and everyone should shut up.
Okay, interesting.
So I don't. They don't. For me, they're not spooky.
Okay.
I love everything spooky, but cryptids fall into a category of either it's science or bollocks.
Right.
When I say bollocks, do we swear on the podcast?
Absolutely.
I don't normally swear.
No,
But bollocks
is
means
very rude.
Yes.
There's no other word for it than
Yes.
nonsense.
yes.
I apologise. Bigfoot might be real. I'm not saying they don't exist, but like
Well, they've
once
not
they're
been
discovered, they're just animals, aren't they?
Exactly. I mean, Attenborough's not discounted them.
Has he not?
Yeah. And what's the monkey lady called?
I know exactly who you mean. I can't remember her name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Famous monkey lady.
I know who you mean. We all know who
We all know who you
listener-
mean.
The listener is
Barbie doll.
screaming the name of
Yes.
this person, and
yes.
we can't.
And
none
it
of us
sounds
can remember
offensive
it.
now that I'm saying it this way, but you guys know what I mean. Expert
know
in monkey
Monkey
lady.
Lady.
Goodall.
Jane Goodall.
Yeah,
Jane Goodall.
Goodall.
Yes,
Jane
absolutely.
Monkey Lady
Yes,
Goodall.
exactly.
Yeah.
She also does not dismiss the possibility.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea. And
And I think there's probably things in the oceans that we. Every new thing they find in the oceans is revolting and seemingly impossible. So yeah, there's weird stuff.
yeah,
Absolutely.
the deep sea giganticism, like where there's less food, there's much bigger animals.
Better get gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? You know.
Yeah.
So I love all that.
Yeah.
Also, the sea scares me.
Yes. Atlantis as well
Atlantis
might be there
might be there. You know, and
In the sea.
in the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or in the Eye of Africa.
And there's dozens of sunken places, aren't there? There's
Very much so. Yeah.
have you done? Well, Ravensthorpe isn't a conspiracy, so I suppose it wouldn't have come up on your podcast. But that's a Yorkshire's Atlantis. It's not slightly better than Atlantis, a little bit better,
Well,
a
you
bit
can
more
go to
Yorkshire.
it for a start. Yeah.
Well, it was off the coast of Hull, if you
Okay.
can imagine such a glamorous location
Yeah, yeah.
for Atlantis. And it was basically a big sandbank inhabited by pirates for a period of almost 100 years until it was washed back into the sea. But they had a church there. Even they had a village. They had ill-advisedly they had a cemetery, which is a mistake because it's sand, and all of those bones eventually came back up. But it was these things happen.
That sounds like a horror film waiting to be written.
It was very, very spooky.
Pretty cool. So, Mr. Conspiracies in general, we've established that cryptids, you either need proof or they're bollocks.
Yeah.
Mr. Conspiracies in general, how do you feel about them?
I suppose I'm a skeptic. I think I want to believe,
Yes.
in the words of Fox Mulder, but I'm more of a sort of cute redhead Dana Scully type.
Okay.
That's how I see myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're sort of in between them, which, to be fair, a lot of us want it to be.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was really a high point for sexy leads in television.
very much so.
Oh, I love Dana Scully. Oh my God, so good.
Were there any things that when you were younger that made you curious? Was an X-Files thing that made you curious about things like aliens and cryptids?
I was a big coward.
Were you?
So I was too scared to watch the X-Files. So all of the plot lines were just filtered through the playground to me as a kid. So I came to the X-Files much later. But I was, I think like a lot of people who are really, really too scared to watch horror films and too scared, I was morbidly and grimly fascinated with all this stuff. So I was always reading the Usborne book of ghosts and werewolves and all the rest of that.
The classics.
But with the covers turned so that they didn't
Yeah.
point out into the room because they were too scary. So I loved all this stuff. I loved Supernatural. I always had bags of runes, trying to predict the future, trying to douse and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, none of it works because it is sadly not real.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. We're alienating more of the listeners.
fine.
But unfortunately, I don't think any of it's true, and that was disappointing.
It is disappointing because it's more fun if it is.
It's
true.
so much more fun if it's true. And so I think now I prefer mysteries that are irresolvable, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Because I feel like we've all got phones in our pockets. I feel like someone would have taken a picture of a ghost by now.
Yes.
Like, sorry, Danny Robbins. You know, we all love ghost stories, but like there'd be a really good quality photograph of someone and not CCTV footage of someone in a suit coming through a fire door.
Yep.
An actual, just clearly good photograph of a ghost. It would have happened and it hasn't.
It would. It is amazing that even in this day and age, how grainy and shit photos of ghosts and Bigfoot and winged creatures.
remarkable, isn't
it's
it?
incredible. It's amazing. Yeah.
It's like in the same way that like costume designers and hair and makeup people absolutely hate digital because you can see the wig lines.
Yes.
I think ghosts are like, no, I prefer, like, have you got like a Super 8 camera
Yeah.
you could film me on? Because I don't, your iPhone, no please.
No, please.
Take it away.
I'll go back. Just let me know when you're ready.
Could we just do it again? Back to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With your extremely creative artist, not just on stage, but like the stuff that you put out on your socials and stuff.
thank you very much.
You bring some of that into the folklore stuff into what you do.
I love a bit of spookiness. I love the texture of folklore, and so I love to try to. I mean, also if you look like this, I can't escape being quickly pigeonholed as a sort of wizardly fellow.
Yeah. I mean, we can't argue with that.
No, you could have said no. I see you as more of a Ryan Gosling type, but nobody came in there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Like no, young Gandalf in the 70s. Young is a stretch perhaps, but Millennial Gandalf.
But it makes it. I mean, that's an interesting thread to have running through the stuff you do as well. I mean, do you enjoy bringing that stuff into your stuff? Surely.
Yeah. And you mentioned that the stuff I do online. I love mixing live action video and animation and using animation in stand-up comedy and sort of bringing all the
Is that your background, animation? Is that
not really? I went to film school, so I sort of taught myself animation because I wanted to put things into films that I couldn't afford to put into the short films I was making. But when you're younger, I think you feel like you've got all these different interests and you keep them siloed because it's like, oh well, that's the one thing I do, and then this is another thing I do. And actually, I annoyingly late in life, I realised that things feed into other things. People read the mystery books that I've written for kids because they've seen like funny sketches that I do online, and people come and see me live because of the sketches. And people, I wrote some video games. Some people remember me from the point-and-click adventure games I made years ago, and they're all done by me, so they're all of a piece. Like it's not like I'm leading a secret double life. But you realise, actually, these things contribute to each other. Or keeping them separate is not helpful.
No.
So you're offering something for the whole family, really?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm very family friendly.
Yeah, very much so.
Extremely.
That's impressive. Speaking of computer games, see what I did there?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Polybius. We should point out this is, in case anyone is confused, there is a Polybius, which is a historian, I think from a couple of centuries ago. That is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Polybius, the arcade game. In this particular
I've been pronouncing it in my head Polybius.
Well, see, I've watched a number of videos on this, and it is a slightly different pronunciation depending on what you listen to. So we're happy to go with either.
No, I'll be guided by you.
Okay.
Unless there is any ancient. Is he a Roman or a Greek?
I don't.
Was he Roman?
One of but he.
It's gonna be one of them.
It's one of them.
It's going to be.
If it's history, it's going to be one.
It's
of them.
going to be one.
It's going to be one of them. Always is.
It's not going to be It's not going to be like an ancient Geordie philosopher.
But imagine.
Polybius.
Yeah. But yes, so we're talking about an arcade game here, and it's possible that this was named after that historian. I don't really know why, but there is a theory that is the case.
It does sound cool.
It does sound cool, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
I do think a significant portion of the staying power of a conspiracy theory is kind of how cool it sounds.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
And Polybius sounds very cool.
It is very cool. And we've actually been waiting for someone to pick this for quite a while because we are fascinated by this one. And neither of us are gamers. Are you a gamer?
I am into the games.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I'm if neither of you are gamers, then I don't need to go into any more detail. I'll just say, I'm pretty much a big time legend. You know, like it's in terms of top gamers, it's Elon Musk and then it's me.
Listen, you could say whatever the fuck
really
you want
good
about
at
that,
games.
and we go fair play.
No, I'm into like indie games and sort of niche stuff. I'm not very good at video games, but I've always loved them. So that's why I wanted to do Polybius.
Okay.
Polybius.
Yes.
Polly.
You were a gamer?
No. I was a geek. I was a comic book geek.
Yes.
And I didn't have sex as a teenager.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
hence why we're here.
Hence why we're here. But games never really. The only arcade game I ever enjoyed was a game called Bank Panic.
Okay.
Bank Panic.
Bank Panic, and it was like 3 doors would open, and behind one of them would be a bandit with guns, and you had to shoot him.
Oh, like in a Wild West scenario.
Yeah,
I was just thinking of like the collapse of Northern. I don't remember that being any fun at all. Yeah. Loads of people I knew lost their jobs.
Yeah. No, but Bank Panic, I remember playing that in a seaside town when I was very young, and there was a Tarzan game as well that I remember playing.
The rest of them weren't all just other financial crises, like the subprime mortgage panic.
No, but I
quite nostalgic now.
That's the same thing. I now realize it's the same crisis.
But yeah, that's my only. And I played Tetris, and I play a word game on my phone now. Whenever the tubes slow down and don't get me home, but I'm not a gamer.
Not a gamer
at all. I did love Lara Croft though.
Well, didn't we all?
Yeah, but I had the action figures, so kind of.
Were you an arcade gamer?
No, no. I don't know. I don't remember arcades ever really being a thing. There was House of the Dead, but they were okay. But you know, I was into sort of like point and click adventure games like Secret of Monkey Island.
Okay.
And I know, of course, I've played the X-Files adventure games. This is the X-Files FMV game, which has Scully and Mulder in it for about 3 minutes. Like they were clearly contractually obliged.
I think I remember
to walk
this.
into a room.
Yes, yeah.
And then they quickly get kidnapped, and then some less expensive actors take over for the entire rest of the game. It's not bad. I mean, it is quite bad, but it's
because their voices are used, aren't they? But yeah, only for that little bit.
There's a few of them, and they're all like there's a lot of games from the late 90s where they tried to get Hollywood actors involved.
I remember.
There's Ripper with Christopher Walken, who I can't do an impression of. I'm sorry, but he has so much contempt for the project he's in. It's genuinely one of the most hilariously lazy performances. Because Walken's a good actor.
He is a great
Not
actor.
in this, he's not. He's so bad. He knows he's on a green screen and they can't pan the camera because it's 1997. So he keeps moving out of frame and they can't pan to follow him. And he's just being a wanker for no reason at all.
Makes me love him even more.
He ends every take putting a cigar into his mouth. And then at the start of the next take, it's back in his hand, and he never does it the other way around. So he's messing with the continuity because they're paying him. They have no idea what they want. The
And I
script
bet
is
it's
terrible.
a sweet payday. as
Well, it would have
Yeah.
been back then because they were like, "This is the future."
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it was not the future.
I was a home game. I wasn't, and I do remember enjoying arcades when I was younger. Actually, it is a nostalgic thing now. Like there's loads in London, but there's in Peckham in particular. There's a few places like this.
There's
where you go.
some nice sort of
Yeah.
retro cafes
Yeah.
and sort of gamer bars. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and so they've got a few 80s classics, which this falls into, but then you've also got things like the Terminator 2 game from the 90s and that kind of stuff. It's really cool. It's well worth it, and you go and you buy tokens and then drink craft beer and reminisce, basically. Anyway, we'll move on. Polybius or Polybius?
Polybius.
Polybius, okay.
But Polybius is what you said, so I'm happy to go Polybius.
Fine. We'll do that. Is one of the most intriguing mysteries in video game culture. Unlike most arcade games of the early 1980s, Polybius is famous not because people played it, but because many people believe it never existed. According to the legend, it appeared in arcades in Portland, Oregon around 1981. Witnesses allegedly described a strange black arcade cabinet featuring intense visuals, addictive gameplay, and unusual psychological effects. Some stories claim that the players experienced memory loss, nightmares, hallucinations, or even addiction after playing it. Others suggest that mysterious men in black suits periodically visited the machines to collect data from them. So what the fascinating thing about this is there is actually no evidence at all of its existence, as in there's no physical evidence. No one's ever found a Polybius machine. There aren't any pictures of them, or certainly not legitimate pictures that have been verified. But yet there are quite a lot of accounts of people remembering it being there. And it's difficult with this to know whether or not this is someone's planted a seed and it's spread and it's one of those rumors that people just, oh yeah, I played that, but they never actually did, or whether it really did exist. But it is quite a fascinating one. I mean, I don't think it was ever over here, but it was a very, very specific area of the US. And
that's, we're in the Pacific Northwest,
Yes.
which is like the spooky zone.
Yes, we are.
That's where almost every podcast seems to be set there.
Yeah.
Every spooky podcast is in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
So, which makes me immediately suspicious. Do
Fair.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like Duluth, I would be like, oh, that's an odd place for them for the CIA to do psychological warfare through video games. But in Portland, Oregon, I'm like, no, it's too well chosen.
I know what you mean.
Sounds like someone who was writing this would come up with.
Absolutely. Or, that said, if you were going to experiment on people who would buy into something like this, would be fascinated by a game like this, would you then perhaps place it in that sort of area?
Oh, yeah. So that the people like me immediately dismiss it out of hand.
Exactly.
Wow.
See?
Double bluff.
Hide in plain sight.
Absolutely. So, no verifiable evidence has ever confirmed the game's existence. The legend of Polybius has become one of the most enduring myths in gaming history. Over time, researchers, journalists, enthusiasts have proposed various theories to explain what it might have been. So, the actual game was rumoured to have shooting mechanics similar to arcade shooters, puzzle-like elements requiring rapid pattern recognition. So it's from the videos I looked at, it's sort of a little bit like not Wordle. What's the number one? Sudoku, that type of thing. Vector-like graphics resembling games such as Tempest, abstract geometric shapes moving through tunnels or mazes, increasingly difficult levels designed to induce a flow state or trance. And so they compare it quite a lot to Tempest, Battlezone, and Sinister. Are you aware of those games?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So the visual effects were a big part of it. So bright flashing colors, rapidly shifting geometric patterns, and strobing visual effects.
It feels like the... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it sounds just like Tron.
Yes.
What I was thinking, it reminds me of, I don't know if it was ever true, the Japanese kids show where supposedly the animation was so frenetic that people would be entranced by it. I don't know if that ever actually happened or if it was just a thing that The Simpsons parodied, if it was another...
No, I think it
legend.
was, because there was something like that got banned from TV for being
because
like that.
people
Yes.
it triggered photosensitive epilepsy.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining that, and sort of like games like Star Fox, which used vectors to create the illusion of sort of 3D, of 3D simple polygon animation, but it was actually just vectors being shifted around the screen in a way that created the impression that you were looking at something three-dimensional.
Yeah, exactly that. And the other thing about the time frame is that they believe this was 1981, and at that time, that was quite advanced for that time.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that makes people suspicious about its existence, because they're saying, well, the graphics were not that advanced at that point. You're right, they could do clever things with it, but not quite as smart as people are making this out to be. However, actually, the timelines themselves are a little bit loose. So
because Star Fox is on the Super Nintendo, so that's much later than this.
About 89, 90 or later.
I think it's like 93 or something. I don't know. I'm terrible with numbers.
Me too.
Twins.
The audio is a big part of it. So pulsating electronic sounds, deep synthetic tones, strange voice samples, and frequencies that allegedly contributed to a hypnotic effect. No evidence was ever confirmed.
Voice samples in a game from 1980.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
making a little note.
Yeah.
Arcade games, not home. There were.
Yes, this is arcade games only. Yeah.
I suppose. I'm thinking of American listeners won't have ever heard of a ZX Spectrum.
No.
Our home computers at that time
my God.
were a little bit more, what would you say, bijou? A little bit more sort of boutique? Not quite as powerful.
I think the joy of a ZX Spectrum was how long it took the game to load, and
which is on a cassette tape.
on a cassette tape, and having to flip the cassette tape.
And if it didn't load correctly, you had to go back to the start.
Yeah. You kids have never rewound a game. They haven't lived.
We had a Toshiba. Our home computer was a Toshiba, and I think we played the game that came with it once because it took so feckin' long to load it up. That's why I'm not a gamer, because it was just...
You didn't have the patience to.
I have no
be a
patience.
gamer.
Did you have a ZX Spectrum? Did you own one?
I had one of the smaller. I can't remember which.
Yeah,
which
they were quite
iteration
small,
it was. They were originally big, and then they got a little
Yeah.
bit smaller without gaining any power.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a ZX Spectrum with a black and white, which we played on a black and white monitor, which made the games even harder.
Yeah. It definitely would. But I never had a ZX Spectrum, but a friend of mine did, and we used to go around that, and we were there for hours, but only probably an hour of that was actual game.
Yeah, an hour of entertainment per every 3 hour block, trying to be entertained.
Yeah. So the historical background of this, the story first gained widespread attention through online discussions in the late 90s and early 2000s. According to the legend, the game appeared briefly in the Portland arcades before disappearing without explanation. The cabinet supposedly bore the name Polybius and was manufactured by a mysterious company called, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong because it is a German word. You don't speak German, do you?
Nine.
Damn it. Sin S. Locken. Sin S. Locken. I apologise to any German listeners.
That already sounds like an anagram.
Yeah.
For like this is a hoax or something.
So I did look into this.
How's it spelled?
SINNESLOSCHEN.
Scheinlachen.
Oh.
And actually, it
Means sensory deprived, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. but
Sinus
Not correctly.
quite
Löschen.
correctly.
That's the kind of mistake a German probably wouldn't make.
Exactly right. This is the point.
They're known for their scrupulous accuracy, especially with the German language that,
Yes,
that they speak.
their own language, exactly.
Sinus Löschen.
Yeah, and this, because you're absolutely right about this, that the it does not translate literally, and actually German speakers probably would not use this word. Therefore, and actually there's no evidence of this company even existing at all, and that's one of the other suspicious parts of it.
But if I were running an evil scam, I'd probably put a fake company name on it.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. For tax purposes, if anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So a German word often translated as sensory deletion or scent erasure. So like you said, however, it does not quite translate to that. Players repeatedly became obsessed with the game. Some experienced seizures, headaches, or psychological disturbances. Government agents allegedly monitored the machines and collected information from them, leading to speculation that Polybius was part of a secret experiment. Experimenting on kids, basically.
Sounds a wee bit like 1984's The Last Starfighter.
And actually comes into it quite a bit.
Is that the plot? Is that a film? Is that the plot?
The Last Starfighter has one of my favorite fourth wall breaks of any movie ever. Catherine Mary Stewart turns around to the camera and goes, "I love you," and she says she loves the main character, and it's awesome.
Oh, that's nice. I love a fourth wall break.
Oh,
I love a fourth wall break.
Nice.
For the benefit of the listener, I did a very funny into the camera.
It was
honestly,
beautiful.
YouTube is
Yeah. If you're seeing this as a reel, you're really getting the full benefit of that.
There was a lot of obsession with the game. That was a big part of it. But the speculation that it was a secret experiment is basically, that's the main theory about this, is that the government or an agency has put these things there to monitor the activity, see what affects it. Are you aware of MK Ultra? I'm guessing.
Yes, and that's MK Ultra and all of the men who stare at goat stuff.
Yes.
This is stuff that we don't know all the information, but we know that they definitely were trying weird, trippy stuff. They were definitely into seeing, can we defeat our enemies with psychic powers?
Yes.
And the answer was, broadly speaking, no. But they still tried.
They did try.
So it's not ridiculous that the American government, and it's not absurd that the American authorities would experiment on civilians.
Not at all.
Because they've also definitely done that.
Yeah, they absolutely have. And
So it could have happened.
Exactly. That's the thing.
And that's me, a comedian and podcaster, saying that. So I think that's case closed.
Who would
really.
never say anything just for context.
I would absolutely, everything I say, I mean 100%.
Absolutely. But that is very true. So we did an episode on MK Ultra, like you said. MK Ultra did exist. It's documented. We know what experiments or at least some of the experiments they did, and we know why they did them. And you're absolutely right that it never actually achieved whatever goal it was they were seeking
Because
to achieve.
sadly, psychic powers and magic don't exist.
Yes.
But if it hadn't been for that, if it hadn't been for those pesky kids,
That money would have been well spent.
well, now we know
Yeah.
not to MK Ultra.
Exactly.
So what are you complaining about?
But this isn't, if you look at the timeline, not that far after that. And also there were rumours that even when MK Ultra shut down, which I think was mid-70s,
and they burnt all the books and stuff, but that's because loads of the stuff they did was illegal.
Yes.
Like severely illegal.
But it doesn't
Their
mean-
one mistake was spending loads of money, committing loads of crimes, and failing completely.
The end did not.
I mean, it's easy to judge in retrospect, isn't it? With the value of hindsight, it's easy to say that with the benefit of hindsight.
But look at the content we've had out of it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
arguably, it's worth it. Historians have found no contemporary evidence that the game actually existed. No arcade operators have ever produced authentic cabinets. No verified advertisements have surfaced, and no official company records mention a game called Polybius. As a result, scholars generally regard the story as an urban legend. And so, however, what I would say about that is because this is a very, very limited set of arcades, like we're talking a handful of arcades in a very specific area at a time where you wouldn't necessarily take a photo, you wouldn't necessarily take a camera to a video arcade game at the time. It was only in them for a very limited time, maybe a period of possibly months. So for anyone to have a photo of it probably would have been unlikely if they did this at all.
Yeah, I mean, I've dug into, when researching things, early video games, and there's just not much documentation. You know, if we're talking about ZX Spectrum times, there were magazines, there were quite a lot of them. You can go to the Internet Archive and you can look at some of them. But you'll find sort of tantalizing references. I was trying to dig into, there was a thing called, it was one of the first live action role plays in, I think, it was Treasure Trap it was called. I think it started in Chislehurst Caves and it moved around. But you can only really find anything out about this because they were sort of inventing a new type of game.
Yes.
But it's only through tantalizing references, and then there's a rumor of scandal, like somebody ran off with the money. Also, I'm sorry, I'm probably slandering a real person there. There were rumors of scandal attached to it, but you can't really find anything out about it. And this is a thing that definitely happened in the 1980s in the sort of gaming space. And still, there's only these little sort of hints and references in text. So yeah, absolutely, loads of stuff especially. In video games, they're so transitory. You know, people didn't expect them to last. They were played, they were looked away. Archives were junked. There's going to be so much stuff that has been forgotten.
Yeah.
I am skeptical, but it's absolutely not impossible.
No, it's not impossible. It is a very, very feasible conspiracy. That's the one of the things about it. Some of them we do. We're like, this is very difficult to believe, but this is, even if it didn't happen, it is feasible. It could have happened, and if you had enough money, enough inclination, especially at that time, it wouldn't have been a particularly difficult thing to do, or at least attempt to do.
Well, the interesting thing is this is the beginning of video games and arcade games and all that's right at the beginning of it all. So there were plenty of companies that came about that disappeared very, very quickly. Polybius might have only been 6 arcade machines. 6 arcade machines getting lost is quite easy. Portland, Oregon, the reason that it's interesting that this is in Portland, Oregon is because that was a hotbed for the video games. The things were tried out there, and then they'd be launched on a larger scale. In the same way that Belfast would, you get chocolate bars that don't exist anywhere else in the world, because Belfast used to get that all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
If you can win over the people of Belfast,
absolutely,
you can make it there. You can make it anywhere.
When I moved to London,
like the old saying goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Catholics and Protestants enjoy this, we are onto a winner.
This is it exactly. When I moved to London, I couldn't believe how small the range was for chocolate bars in shops and in garages.
What a culture shock.
Honestly, I remember just going, where is everything? Like if you haven't had a Golden Crisp, you haven't lived. And it's just and in that regard, Portland, Oregon was like that for the beginning of the video games. So like 6 video arcades, like someone could have knocked that up in their garage and created something that maybe didn't have sinister links to the government or whatever, but maybe they did. You know, like the idea of something being photosensitive, you brought that up. We didn't really legislate for that or put safeguards in place until the 90s. No. There used to be do you remember the pot noodle ad?
Yeah.
That had Ace of Spades behind it. Cup of noodles if you're in the States. And I don't think it went to the States, but they had to pull it because it was causing people to have seizures. And that was like 1997 or something. Well, maybe 94, might be a bit earlier. But like, so the idea that a video game that wasn't regulated or had business standards was causing seizures or putting people into a flow state where they didn't come out of it, or causing people to throw up or whatever, isn't beyond the pale.
Absolutely not. And that is a factor in modern games now, like there are warnings for trigger warnings, that sort of thing. I think that the difference with this particular game is that the theory here is that there was an intent for that to happen. They were attempting to cause seizures. They were attempting mind control via this game. They might have been.
They might have been.
Yeah.
Like The Parallax View, which is a movie about assassinations and people being triggered to create assassinations, is 1974. You know, like, and that did happen.
I think it is fascinating how many conspiracy theories are a bit like a film that came out a few years before conspiracy.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's the whole thing behind that as well, of they're preparing the audience for.
Of course.
So, if
you're going to release a chupacabra, then you probably want to do a film a bit like
Absolutely.
it. So people know how to handle a chupacabra situation.
Absolutely.
Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day, that's coming out, and we're talking about
very adamant that Disclosure Day is because they're about to tell us that aliens exist.
Didn't they do that like 3 weeks ago? Yeah, we were like, we don't care. Tell me more about the ballroom that Trump's building. Who cares about aliens?
Well, that's the ballroom. Oh my God, the amount of stuff behind that.
It's like they're deliberately being like, and it's very important in a government kind of way.
Way more important than the Epstein files. Look over here.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're into games, you absolutely do have video games that you remember playing that you have a vague impression of, and of course you remember them completely wrong. And I love it when someone will post online saying, "Can anyone remember?" And then describe a vaguely remembered game, and then people jump in getting it wrong and trying to find the game. So absolutely, people do remember weird games, but also our memories are very, very malleable, and people construct games out of several different games, and you end up blending them together. You know, when you find the game that you did play, you go like, "It didn't look like that. It had much better graphics than that."
Yeah. I completely agree with that, and we've actually mentioned that a few times on the podcast. That type of sort of group thing. However, there are actually considering the very, very localized nature of this, there are quite a lot of accounts of it. And like you said, when somebody posted about this, and it sort of gained a bit of traction when sort of chat boards first came onto the internet in the late 90s, there were quite a bit. Oh yes, I remember that, and then people had heard about it. So it's difficult to know where the source is, but when a number of people have an account of something, even if it is just vague, there may be something in it, but it could also be association. Do you remember the E.T. game?
I was wondering if you're going to bring up of course I don't remember it because it's under Salt Lake City, is it?
Yes. So I had this. So my first console was...
Sorry, this is why you're not a gamer. The only game you had as a kid was famously the worst game of all time.
So I was a little bit of a gamer as a kid, but yes.
And then you got to E.T. and you were like, no.
Yeah, well, like...
it's only Russian novels for me from now on.
Kind of, yes, because it was, for anyone who doesn't know, this was the original Atari console, and my uncle used to work for W.H. Smith, and he got one cheap for somebody, so he gave it to me and my sister. And and
for any young people who didn't know, W.H. Smith used to be a shop, but also before, if you do know what they sell, they used to sell video games.
They sell
back
everything.
In those days. You could get everything you wanted. Forget your TJ Holmes or whatever it's called. I'll never accept that.
I will never accept that. No. It's W.H. Smith or it's nothing.
I want a shop that doesn't know what it's about. Them and Woolworths. The games we got with it were Super Breakout, which is the ball bouncing off the wall thing, and the E.T. game, right? Super Breakout, very straightforward game. E.T., impossible game to play. I just thought I was thick because it was so difficult, and I just thought I'm not bright enough to be able to play this. But it was only decades afterwards when these boards came out and people started talking about the E.T. game, remembering the E.T. game, that everyone went, yes, it was an impossible game to play.
Because there were several like that. And on the Spectrum, especially when games were being made by, two people in a bedroom all the time, genuinely people would not finish the game and just make them ramp up in difficulty so much that you wouldn't know. I think the Disney Lion King games are a later example of that because they made it too hard because they didn't want you to be able to complete it during the length of a Blockbuster's rental period. Because then nobody would buy it, but they accidentally made a game that's absolutely rock solid because they misjudged how good kids are at games, and so it's just famously almost impossible because they wanted it to take longer than a certain amount of time. But there's lots of people doing weird things with difficulty in games to sort of con the player in one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a couple of them like that, which were literally not finished.
Yes.
And so they just released the game.
They put it out anyway. And famously, for anyone who doesn't know the story, Atari buried, I think, hundreds of thousands of copies of the of versions of the cartridges of the E.T. game in the desert somewhere.
Now I wonder, is that, because that sounds like the kind of thing that would be a lie?
No, there
are people that go looking for it, like where to dig and whatever, and they've got like.
No, they did find a site.
They did find.
Yeah.
Wow. It was only a few years ago, I think this was, but they found a site where they
found the ETs.
It was on BBC News, so it must be true.
Wow.
Yeah.
So little guy's finally coming home.
Yeah. I think they got one of the two of them to actually work as well, which is pretty impressive. That's how robust those cartridges were. So supporters of this theory connect the legend to historical programs such as the CIA's MK-Ultra. During the Cold War, governments conducted research into behavior modification, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and psychological manipulation. Under this theory, the arcade cabinet functioned as a data collective device. The mysterious visitors in the legend were government operatives monitoring player responses. The game's visuals and mechanics may have intentionally been designed to produce altered states of consciousness or behavioral effects. What I don't understand is what the men in black were collecting from it, because
I suppose if the effects were in the body of the person playing
exactly
how did the arcade machine know about that?
Right, that's the point.
With 1980 technology.
Yeah.
They would be observed. CCTV or the staff would be.
Oh, so you think
in those days CCTV was just a guy with a broom just standing in the corner of the room,
just standing, watching. And
quite noncy overall. That
well, yeah,
it was a different time.
Different time. It was fine then.
No,
it was the 80s.
You were allowed to have a couple of nonces arcade in those days. It was just the way it was.
Yeah, it just kept you healthy. It got rid of the weak ones.
2, fine. 3, maximum. As long as they're in a corner in a long coat. So there is a few theories on this. So there's also a composite memory theory. So this is a slightly more plausible explanation. So during the 80s, arcades were often associated with intense competition, long playing sessions, and occasional health issues. Some players reportedly experienced headaches, eye strain seizures, or dizziness after prolonged exposure to flashing screens. At the same time, law enforcement occasionally monitored arcades due to concerns about gambling, truancy, and juvenile delinquency. So several actual arcade games featured unusual visual effects and demanding gameplay, which is Tempest, Berserk, and Sinister I mentioned earlier, and they were known for intense audio-visual experiences. Berserk became associated with reports that a few players died of heart attacks shortly after playing, generating sensational media coverage. So that definitely was true that there were reports like that at the time.
Well, and as you were saying, people do have epileptic reactions to video games.
Yep.
So, of course, these things were happening. And there was a huge sort of moral panic like there was with comics and later with home gaming about arcades and the deleterious effect they were having on the youth of today.
Yes.
So, yeah, I can imagine all these things coming together to create one imaginary cabinet
Yes.
which has all of the worst things attached to it.
Yeah. Yes. And I guess the difference between, whereas, because we did an episode on the Satanic Panic, which is kind of semi-similar in that respect.
And the Satanic Panic definitely did happen. I suppose the question is, was Satan behind the whole thing?
Yeah.
I think the answer is broadly no.
Maybe that's
probably
what
not.
that translates to.
No, there's no demon called Polybius, because I thought I'll look that up.
It does certainly sound. Yeah,
I think that would have been too on the nose, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, according to the composite memory theory, stories about these real incidents gradually merge into a single narrative. Over time, separate memories of government monitoring, arcade-related scares, and unusual games fuse into the myth of Polybius. So you can sort of see how it would come about via all of those things combined at the same time. So it's in a similar way to the Satanic Panic, with certain movies and certain heavy metal music and general fears about violence all coming together and mass media exposure as well, I guess.
I don't really think people are that influenced by films, but I don't. Is this true? I read that nobody was really getting exorcisms before The Exorcist. Like, it was extremely
correct,
rare.
yes.
And now Americans are getting 5 or 6 exorcisms a day.
As they should.
And there's huge amount. Well, they clearly, some of them need it.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, just get a quick exorcism on the way out. It's like mindfulness for me.
Yeah.
But obviously
doing
we
it
are.
Zoom now.
You know, we are obviously influenced by films,
Yeah.
by stories.
Yeah.
Like
When you have the words to describe something, then that's what you start to describe. You know, like no one thought about, unless you were a good Catholic, because it is a Catholic ceremony. No one thought about exorcisms until the Exorcist brought it to the forefront. Exorcisms they were happening, because it is a Catholic procedure, but a Catholic ritual. But it was certainly it shot up in fame afterwards, like people collecting turtles after Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Dalmatians, which are a really vicious breed. Don't get your kid a Dalmatian. They bite. In fact, Disney have been sued for that. I don't know why I'm talking about this now, but there you go. So.
We'll take that bit out for legal reasons. Okay. Another interpretation views Polybius as a modern folklore phenomenon. This would be up your street. In this view, the game's existence is less important than the story, than what the story reveals about society. Folklorists have long noted that every era develops myths reflecting contemporary anxieties. Medieval societies told stories about witches and demons. Industrial societies created legends about ghosts in factories or dangerous machines. Digital societies generate myths about secret software, hidden algorithms, and mind-controlling technology. Polybius can be understood as an information age myth. The game embodies fears that technology may influence thoughts, emotions, and behavior in ways that users do not fully understand. The legend transforms an ordinary arcade cabinet into a symbol of hidden power.
I might question you on one point there, because I think medieval stories, were less obsessed with demons than like contemporary America is now.
Yeah.
Demons specifically, but fairies were a big deal. Or whatever you call fairies where you are.
Fae.
It's a different name in Ireland. It's a different name in Scandinavia. But they're all ranging between the pretty little ones and sort of very nasty goblins and also sort of poltergeist-like sprites. But there's fascinating examples of like UFO encounters, which would clearly be a fairy encounter had they happened 300 years earlier.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You read about, weird comets in the sky being documented in the 16th century, and this would be a UFO story, but it didn't happen at the right time, and so it's a vision of some kind. And there's some fantastic ones, the Ticonderoga story, where an entire scene played out on the sky of a battle that was happening in America, appeared to the relatives of the people fighting it in Scotland. So there's bizarre stories which would magical, but we later on would have said, oh well, no, that's a psychic experience. This person clearly is a medium or whatever, or it's telepathy. So we'd come up with different explanations for the same sort of weird phenomena, lights in the night, and these sorts of things. And there's the cold lad of Hilton is a northeastern ghost these days, but in the older versions of the story, he's a fairy. So he's a household sprite that causes problems. But if you ask anybody about it now, they'll be like, oh yeah, the house is haunted by the ghost of a boy who was murdered here. But he wasn't. It's haunted by the fairy that lives here. But he's turned into the ghost of a boy over the years.
So the supernatural has eras like Madonna.
Well, it keeps reinventing itself to stay relevant, just like Madonna.
Swift.
Just like
Taylor
Madonna.
Swift.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
I tell you what, Taylor Swift's album Folklore made researching folklore so hard for a period of about a year because she's so popular. Every search result was about her.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Like, I'm currently trying
Maybe
to.
she's running interference.
What is she trying to hide?
Exactly.
Well, it's like Disney releasing Frozen. That's definitely running interference.
Yeah. I like the fact that we both know what you're referring to there.
But it is.
We did an episode on it.
But it is. That's why they released it. That's why they
To be fair, if they did, that's very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just have to wait to see if they release one called "Was a Nazi Sympathizer," and we'll find out.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to work that title, trying to get there somewhere.
It doesn't quite have the same ring as like Frozen.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Which it goes Tangled, Frozen, Was a Nazi Sympathizer. I'm feeling it's going off.
Yeah, the Golden Trilogy. Yeah. So there is a French philosopher called Jean Baudrillard.
Baudrillard.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't know if that's
No.
that's the correct English pronunciation, which is almost certainly nothing like how a French person would
I
say it.
think it's probably more accurate. Introduced the concept of hyperreality, a condition in which representations become more influential than reality itself. Under this framework, Polybius is fascinating because its cultural impact exceeds that of countless real games.
Yeah, I mean, having worked on games nobody's heard of, it is annoying. It is annoying that Polybius, a game that doesn't exist, has better search engine optimization.
Yes, I imagine then quite a lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been like thousands of games have been released while we've been talking.
Yes,
it's a crazy world.
And the last one we're going to talk about is the simulation theory connection. So some modern commentators connect Polybius to broader ideas about simulation and reality. So this is basically reality itself may function as a computational construct. Within this framework, Polybius becomes a metaphor for hidden systems influencing human behavior. The game's alleged data collection and psychological effect resemble the way algorithms today monitor users, predict actions, and shape experiences.
Oh, so that's the theory that we're all just living inside a
Correct.
matrix-like simulation.
Correct. Yes.
Well, that would explain so much.
A game within a game.
It would explain these suits for one.
It really would.
Yes. Why someone decided that we're going to dress up in suits.
If somebody had coded this, though, they would have at least coded it so that we had suits that fit us.
and weren't too hot.
Yeah, weren't too hot. We've filmed quite a few episodes of the series now, and we've realised that whilst this may look good on camera, it was a mistake.
So
Like
the
the
next
hottest
series is
days of the
completely
year.
naked.
Yeah,
I've asked for that a few times now.
He really has.
We finally get answers to the big questions.
Yeah,
we've been
exactly.
asking.
Exactly.
Because I wouldn't look naked if I was naked. You know, that's
You got a sort of
be part
Robin
of the
Williams
pack.
situation where it's like you're wearing a tank top at all times.
yeah, yeah.
So there's lots of examples of Polybius in culture. So it's appeared in The Simpsons. There's a episode called "Please Homer, Don't Hammer 'Em," where a Polybius arcade machine appears in a video game store. There's an episode of The Goldbergs where it's also, which actually it's called The Greatest Game Ever Played, and the whole episode revolves around it. And there's an episode of Loki where it can be seen in the background as well.
Yeah. Loki, time travel, the Goldbergs set in the 80s.
Yeah.
I quite like the Goldbergs. I saw the Nightmare on Elm Street episode. I loved it.
It's cool. I mean, it is quite a cool thing to drop into your retro-themed show, I guess, isn't it?
Yes, it existed. It was there.
Yeah. What makes the legend enduring is its ambiguity. Unlike mysteries that are eventually solved, Polybius remains unsolved. This is kind of going to what you were saying. It's more fun when you can't prove or disprove it, essentially. It's
Yes,
just out there.
I think so.
Yeah.
Also, because when people make sort of very specific, concrete claims, they can just test those. You know, like flat Earth theory. Well, it's not, is it? So that's unfortunately it's a
But
nice
it's fun
idea.
to find out. Well,
yeah. Have you done flat Earth?
We have done flat Earth, yeah.
I love the way the guy just there's a zetetic astronomer. The first guy who came up with it was just in the Fens in East Anglia, which is just the flattest part of England. And he was like, you know what? I think it's all flat. He was in a canal and just looks pretty flat to me. And that's where it started. I would never have guessed that that's where it came from.
Have you seen there's a Flat Earth documentary on Netflix? Well, there's a few actually.
Is that the one where the guys who take it so seriously measure it and keep finding the evidence that it's round?
Exactly.
And it's really upsetting for them. It's really heartbreaking to watch them try it again and be like, there must be something wrong with this tool.
Yeah, but they're making a lot of friends and they get to go on great adventures.
Well, it reminded me of, in the best possible way, I used to help organize a gaming event for games writers, and we'd all get together and we were all into like nerdy narrative games and sort of indie games and that sort of thing. And I was looking at them all getting together and being like, oh, it's like that. It's like that. It's like that club I go to. They're all just
it's a bike community.
That is exactly it. And we when I was watching and thinking exactly that, they really all seem to be. They're all very nice people. They all seem to be enjoying themselves, and they go on these little trips out to the corners of the earth, and it just looks like fun.
And what I like about that, and I like about this, is that a lot of conspiracy theories have a really nasty undertone to them, and a lot of them veer into anti-Semitism, or just vaguely masked anti-Semitism. And it feels like when I was a kid, the conspiracy theories I liked were like fun, and the subtext of them was there's things out there they don't want you to know about, but the world's actually much weirder and stranger than you can imagine, and I like that. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of the conspiracy theories, which are sort of quite mainstream now, are the opposite of that. They're saying like, everything's actually fine. I don't need to worry about climate change, but the evil transgender Jewish left is trying to make me recycle.
Yeah.
And it's somehow an inversion of that, which is like, I'm actually fine. The world actually is fine, and we're safe, except that they're lying to make us think that there are problems in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I think there actually are problems in the world that we do need to deal with, and it makes me sad that they've sort of been flipped to the opposite. They used to sort of encourage a kind of skepticism, and now it feels that they encourage a kind of just believing bollocks.
Yes.
They're encouraging you to not think critically.
Yeah, well, they're very absolute. It's very certain stuff they're putting out there, isn't it? It's not speculation. This is how things are.
It has definitely shifted. Like even 10 years ago, the things that the conspiracy theory was interested in, or people who are interested in conspiracy theories like myself were into, has definitely shifted. It's a lot much more political and much more they're going to get you. And it's like there's a lot of stuff. Like I follow a lot of conspiracy theory stuff before we started doing this podcast, and the amount of downright racist stuff I get projected with, and it's like, oh Jesus, and you have to watch it, and and there's been a real revitalization of like real Christian right coming into it as well, and I just like the fun stuff.
Yeah, did we get to the moon or not? That's all I want to know.
No.
Where's that flag? Zoom in, get me a really good telescope.
Well, not the first time.
Not the first time. No. I'm of the opinion we got to the moon. We did do that, but the footage that we look at, Stanley Kubrick.
You think it's the Kubrick?
Or
the implausible thing for me is that any actor would ever keep quiet about anything. I just don't think
they're dead now.
Well, if they died immediately afterwards, then fine. Then that's plausible.
Well, if you look at the astronauts when they come back from the moon at the press conference, you think they'd be jubilant, and they look awful. They look like they're not having a good time, and okay, maybe they're tired and all that sort of thing, but it's such a weird press conference. Like I think that's more telling than almost anything else. Something went on. Did they really go to the moon? Well, if they did, they don't look like they did. Like I don't know, but I do think like it's extremely believable that the authorities would lie about details about something like that, because it was in the middle of a space race and it needed to go well for the study. So if they could shave a bit of the truth off in order to make them look better, of course I believe they would do that. I think that.
I don't know that I doubt the whole thing, but
I
don't think they wouldn't lie about it. I just don't know if they
Well, they didn't mention the aliens once, did they?
or the constructions on the moon.
All the constructions of the moon, yeah.
Crystal
None of that
Palace on
stuff.
the moon.
Yeah.
Well, you can
Crystal Palace on the moon.
Yeah.
That's everyone's talking about Arsenal. I can't believe. I can't believe I've.
Oh, you're talking football
joke.
now.
That's all I know about football. Is that Arsenal just did
they have had a couple of good seasons, Crystal Palace, so word gets around.
Is this soccer that we're talking about?
So
I used to live near the Selhurst Grounds. That's the only reason I know Crystal Palace is a football team. I wouldn't know otherwise.
Yeah. So whether Polybius ever existed physically may ultimately be less important than why people continue to believe it. The game's enduring appeal lies in its ability to express cultural fears about control, perception, and technology. It serves as a reminder that myths do not disappear in the digital age; they simply take new forms. In that sense, Polybius may be the perfect video game legend, a game that nobody can prove existed, yet one that continues to influence imaginations decades after its alleged disappearance. So, Alasdair, did Polybius, the arcade game, exist?
I'm going to tell you why I think it was made up by someone.
Okay.
And it's not just that the German word is not a real German word. Mm-hmm. It's that it's a German word because, the American movies of the 1980s are very concerned with Japan, with the rallying Japanese economy and the inroads Japan is making into American business. And obviously a huge amount of video game innovation was happening in Japan. And you can see that that anxiety in Back to the Future and things like that. I think if someone were inventing this story at that time, there's no reason that it would be sort of associated with Germany.
It would be Japanese.
If it were going to be associated with a different company, it would be Japan. Yeah. Or it would be America. Mm. The fact that it's German is a bizarre choice. Yes. I think that suggests to me that it's being invented at a later time when we're not in that, when that sort of the paranoia about sort of Japan in America is a thing of the past and nobody's thinking about that. I think they haven't gotten into the mindset of the era when inventing it during the Usenet era or the message board era in the 90s or early 2000s, whenever this came about. So I think it was an urban legend that's been invented by someone, and then in that sort of Berenstain Bears kind of a way, people's struggle to remember things, people's ability to sort of create new memories by combining and recombining or re-remembering things has added to it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's true. Okay, fair enough.
It's cool. It is very cool. And it's also nice to see that America have really progressed in their attitude towards foreign imports.
Yeah, luckily xenophobia is a thing of the past in America.
Absolutely, things have changed since the 80s. David, did it exist?
I was going to say yes, and then Alasdair said that, and I was like, oh my god, I had not seen that. I had not seen that. I do think it's definitely plausible that there was video games that maybe had, or arcade games in particular, maybe had some sort of weird research behind them or whatever to see the effects that they could cause. But you can do that in a controlled situation. You don't need to put it into the population amongst kids who. So Alasdair's persuaded me. Yeah, I genuinely because I was that completely makes sense.
I was just thinking. I think it's a failed video game that they've just buried, a bit like the ET game.
Mm. And it's quite possible. And like you say, I don't think they wouldn't do these things. I'm just not sure there was any evidence they did.
Yeah. There is no evidence at all that they did. Yep. So, Alasdair, would you like to look at this camera? Tell people where they can find you and follow and all that sort of stuff.
Hey, my name's Alasdair Beckett-King. I'm a comedian. I'm on tour in the UK this autumn. And my show's called King of Crumbs, and it's got all jokes in it and everything. And I do two podcasts, one about folklore, which we might have touched upon in the course of this. One is called Lawmen, which is a folklore podcast about local legends that I do with James Shakeshaft. And I do another podcast about classic kids' books with Eleanor Morton, and that one is called Eleanor and Alasdair Read That. And you can listen to them on the internet, but we don't have like a whole set. We haven't got any of this stuff. We don't wear suits. We do it naked.
Yeah, well, as
you will,
as nature intended. Would you guys like a arcade game joke to end the podcast? Because I couldn't find a previous one.
Yes, please.
Okay. What is the difference between a sausage in a bun and Pac-Man? One's a hot dog and the other's a dot hog.
Because he eats all the dots.
See?
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Approve? That's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Please give us a little 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to help support us further, why not check out patreon.com/BelievePod for exclusive episodes, early access, and ad-free listening. Remember, we love you.